Hello and welcome to the Tupolev 154B2. This is no longer a Felis Planes product. It's kind of an amalgamation of several members of the community, including a master Skya dev team and a bunch of other notable people that I can't really all name. But it's here in X-Plane 12. I used to fly this a lot in 21 and 22 and X-Plane 11 with the English cockpit. Times have changed though. That was the M variant. We're flying the B2. Russian cockpit. I've still got my Garmin 430, thank goodness. I never had the time to learn the KLN 90B or the NBU or any of that RSBN stuff, whatever. There's so many abbreviations. But it's a fun plane. It's kind of the first foray into Russian airliners for flight simmer. I'd say this is your most entry level. Um, maybe. Maybe the 134 is more entry level. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But I'll give you the route today. We're flying from Vladivostok Airport, way near like the southeastern tip, and we're going to be crossing the something ocean to Pacific, I guess, to Takamatsu Airport in Japan. It's a real route that Vladivostok Air operated in the summer of '98 on the 130 or 154 B2. Doing it on VATSIM, no ATC probably, which I like it that way. I'm still kind of learning this aircraft, got a few flights under my belt. Thought I'd show it off and, you know, yeah, just show it off really. Put it on YouTube, maybe drum up some conversation, I don't know. Um, it's an amazing piece of freeware, might I add, freeware uh, software for flight simulation. It's wonderful. I've already got the aircraft preloaded, and we got stairs. We're kind of pretending we're boarding, I guess, even though it's actually shut down. We're going to be doing a cold and dark start up here on the ramp. Better Pushback does not like to work with this plane, so I'm just not going to use it. So we're starting up on the ramp. You can see this is Japan Air 777 and China Airline or China Eastern. I doubt these actually fly here. These are static models, but again, freeware, Vladivostok scenery. I've always loved the Russian sim community because everything's just freeware, you know. Like you pay for something maybe here and there, but like all the sceneries, you know, back when I first started out using P3D, I'd fly in Russia a lot because all the sceneries were freeware. Uh, yeah. So, without further ado, let's hop in. This is going to be fun. We're going to have fun here. I wouldn't use this as a tutorial, but then again, there's not really a definitive tutorial out there. So what I did is I read a bunch of, documentation, whatever I could find that's in English, and watched videos and basically did monkey see, monkey do. So if you want to monkey see, monkey do this, go right ahead. Yeah. I guess it saves panel states because I had that on from the last flight there. Yeah. Let's get ourselves set up here. Batteries are coming on. APU and APU door and APU fire suppression.
Starting APU. APU doors are open. Starting area is clear.
Go start there. Turn on our nav light. Listen to this thing fire up. Sounds are kind of goofy. I believe that's the APU. Don't quote me on that. It's terribly obvious. There is a English cockpit. This is the texture map for it. I've been using this as a reference and just scrolling through in case I forget what something means. Because obviously everything's in Russian. Alright, we got 100% on the APU here. Let's go ahead and bring it onto the bus here. Test the phases, that's good. Rectifiers can come on. And you get that electrical whirring. We'll open up the APU bleed. This light extinguishing will tell us that it is bleeding. Go ahead and start pressurizing our hydraulic systems here. Master airflow control switches are coming on. We can leave these off for now. We'll leave these off here. Turn on our cabin temp switches, our pressurized system 1. All can come to auto. That looks good. Engine vibration system, or engine EGT monitors and vibration systems are coming on now. pressurize the brake accumulator here, which we're probably going to have to repressurize at some point. This thing likes to unpressurize. Alright, that looks good. Systems are pressurized. This is our ice detection and fire suppression systems. We can turn those on. Might need icing equipment for the departure. Obviously it's IMC here, but I believe the temperature is... Okay, we're looking at -1 here, so definitely anti-ice is going to be on for departure. So we'll do no derate for the takeoff. I think derate is like 94 or 95% RPM. We'll take it up to like 97 or 98 or something. I'm really spitballing here. You know, hobby simmer. I don't have time to really go through all the tables. But yeah, that looks good. So the trick here is you turn on your essential systems to not overload the amperage on the APU. If you do, it has an overload trip detector thing, and then you get no power, or no APU gen power to your aircraft here. So for me, in my case, I'm going to have our transponder VSI, leave our angle of attack indicator off. We'll have a GPS and VSI right on. B63, that's our altimeter there. We need to set standard pressure, obviously. These can go to DG. This is our compass, I believe. What we can do is have our FTI and VG refs on. We can have VHF1 on. 2 gyro stabilizers. Nah, we don't need those now. Let's do window heats and pitot heats can stay off for now. Doppler can go to ground and VU by Dop. Obviously, we'll leave the Doppler off now, and no smoking, and exit signs are coming on now. Okay, I believe that's good. So an issue I was having was that the attitude indicators were not aligning. You need the autopilot flight director system on, I believe. Let me just double check here. No, never mind. Let's just align these now in that case. Let's do, okay, that looks good. That has such, oh, we're missing our attitude indicator. Oh, here we go, B63. There we go. So pressure, that's doing a self-test there. Pressure is 1010. Set that here, 1010. We'll set that on the standby, and these are synced, so we should be showing 1010 on this side, which we are not. Okay. Whatevs. That looks good. Transponder is going to come on here, and we'll reset our code here. This is again from the from the last flight there. Okay, and we'll switch our HSI to display the GPS. It is a conventional departure, but we're just going to fly with the GPS because I'm not too familiar with the VOR NDB navigation on this. I can tune it, but getting it to display on the HSI, I don't know. Actually, you know what? We might be able to. We'll see here. We might do a little, because it's a very simple departure. So if I mess it up, you know, we can just go direct to the first en route fix. Irregardless. We'll have our nav and something in our pitch and roll channels pre-prepared. We'll prepare the auto throttle. This is for when we turn it on and when we need it. It's just easy. We'll get the first officer to display the GPS as well. Okay. That looks all good. Let's check the amp load here. So I don't know. Usually this would, I would have to guess, would be around like 6 or 7 on the gauge here. 10 is usually when it trips, but it doesn't seem to be showing up during any of the phases, so yeah, I don't know. That's beyond me. So let's start with our performance briefing for takeoff. We're taking off with a gross weight of 83.3 kilograms, and this is pre-calculated, which is really nice here on this Avi-Tab that Master Sky made, I believe, the dev team. For a flap 15 takeoff is rotating at 250 kilometers per hour, which is about 140, 150 knots. That's like a standard rotate speed for this aircraft. So we'll do a flap 15 departure, something nice and easy. V2 268, so we'll pitch for we'll pitch for about 300 knots. We'll say, you know, that's my idea of V2 plus 10, but in kilometers per hour. Minimum clean speed is 350 kilometers per hour. That looks good for me. 27.4 on the CG. So the trim on this aircraft is something you really don't want to understate. I'll show you here from a translated flight manual. Actually, this is a two-part thing. So you've got this is like your trim band for your CG. It operates the autopilot and the actual stabilizer trim for manual flight. So if we're taking off with 27, we can have it in the center position here. But if we had an aft or forward CG, we'd set it accordingly. I had an issue on a previous flight where I was landing with, I think, an aft CG, and I had it in the center, and the autopilot kind of like ran out of trim basically, and I ran out of trim, and I was pretty slow. So yeah, that went about as well as you can guess. So anyways, that's our performance for takeoff pretty much. We got a lot of runway to work with here. I'll show you here. This is Vladivostok, 11,500 feet. So we're going to take off 07 right here. And, yeah, no intersection, no derate, because our engines are going to be, you know, there's going to be some power taken away because of the anti-ice, I would imagine at least. So, yeah, pretty standard takeoff ahead for us. So, let's actually brief for the departure here. So, I haven't used Avitab in forever. It's weird seeing Jeppesen charts in white. So 8,000 transition altitude with the QNH. We do have VOR, DME, track 2 instruction, flight radar vectoring. Don't have to worry about that because there's no ATC. Climb to our clear level. Turn before DER is prohibited. Yeah, that sounds about right. So this is our Vatis 2 Yankee. That's what we're going to take. Russian airports always have like a million different departures. You really can just pick whatever you want, I guess, unless you get assigned by ATC. We can definitely do above 800 feet per minute. This thing climbs like a rocket. So it's a climb on a 072, so runway heading until 3,300 feet, and then left direct to Kilo November. Once intercepted, fly the Kilo November radio 1892 of Vatis, which is 31.3 DME. Okay, yeah, we could totally fly that. Let's get it set up here. So the frequency was 110.6. So what you do on this is you set 110.6 to receive DME, and you set 110.6 here to receive it on your HSI, and you got to set your course as well for the autopilot to fly it. What did it say again? 043 was the radial? No, 189. Set that here, 189. But then you're also going to want it displayed here on your HSI as well. So we'll set 189, and we'll set runway heading, which is 072. 072, that looks about right. Yeah, this looks weird because our compasses aren't aligned. I haven't even gotten to aligning the compasses yet. But that's a pretty well-known thing on the Felis. So departure briefing has been completed to the best of my abilities, I'd say. Now we're going to go to the flight plan here, and we are going to be lazy. We're going to just load in Vladivostok to some road. What did I say the airport was called again? I can't remember. Something with a T. Takamatsu. Now let's just verify here. First fix is Vatis. That looks good. And our final fix for the route here before the airport is Utazu. So I'm just going to go through and double check here that we have Utazu. Yeah. Okay, looks good. And it's direct to yeah, the airport. That looks fine to me. Yeah, okay. I think now we are ready for startup. So let's do it here. Let's go seatbelt sign on. Let's go beacon light on. Let's let's go over to the ground services. We're going to get them to get rid of the passenger doors, the ladders, the air stairs I should say, and the gear blocks. Okay. So our fuel system is coming online. This is our gauges and pressure regulators and everything. We've got nothing in tank number 4, so we're going to feed from tank number 1, 3, and 2 today. That looks good. Yeah. I'll get these switches on as well. This is our engine bleed and our some kind of auto thing for the pressurization or for the bleed system. QFE is I think 7.5 here. Yeah, 7.5 in millibars. Actually, wait, no. Let me grab the field elevation here. We take field elevation and convert it to millimeter HG something or other. 32 feet. Yeah, so we'll just say 7.5. Alright, pressurization set to the best of my abilities. Okay, everything looks good. Yeah, let's start up. Okay. So, engine start panel is open. We'll do start master on. We'll go from crank to start.
Check before start. Blocks are removed, doors and hatches are closed, grounding, cups and tail rod removed, ready for start.
And we'll go ignition heat on. We're going to do 2, 1, and 3, I think, is a start sequence. That's what I do at least. Okay.
Clear the engines. Starting engine 2.
There we go.
Got it. Starting
It's motoring. APU is still nominal. If you start it with a heavy load on the APU, like if you got all your systems on up there, this thing will beg for its life. Like it's fluctuating a bit, but I've seen it go to like 60 or so. Because when I used to fly the 154 ages ago, I would turn everything on except for the autopilot and flight director, which would work, but I just had the generator trip off there. Are we okay? I hope we're okay. That's speak of the devil there. I hope that didn't trip off, man. I barely had any systems on. Anyways, engine 2 is stabilized. We'll move the generator to the check position. Phases are good. We'll bring it online. Okay, time for number 1. Nope. Okay, APU trip. We need to reopen the bleed air now. Now we're in trouble. What is... There we go. Okay, bleed air. Alright. I don't know why it's... Because we have minimal systems on. I don't get it. I bet there's one system we've got on that's just drawing a lot of electricity. Alright, let's go to the check position. Cool. Coming online. And we need to reopen the APU bleed now, because it keeps tripping off. Okay, starting number 3.
Starting engine 3.
Yeah, you can see. So that's what I was talking about. So I guess I got something on there that's just killing it. But we're getting by starting. Like it's probably damaging some systems prematurely. But the APU is sufficing here. So yeah, and it's 20% there, bringing in fuel, standard procedure. Checking that our lights are extinguishing up there as well. See the it is loud outside. Like this is a very loud aircraft. Okay, go to the check position here. And she's online.
Generator is connected to the main bus.
Bring the APU off the
Turn on
bus.
systems. Ground. Engines running. Flight controls checked. Switch to visual control. Over. Disconnecting. Have a good flight.
Turn all this off on our start panel there. APU bleed's already shut. We can do APU shut off. Okay. Everything is looking okay. Master airflow. Controls can come on. The overheat light has a tendency to come on. Don't know why. Probably because we need to warm up our engines first before taking the bleed air from them. Yeah, see overheat. So I think we gotta wait for them to warm up, but man, I do what I want. You know? Alright, we're gonna bring the rest of our systems online here. So our angle of attack indicator, UVID, whatever that is, turn indicator, AUX, connecting to AUX. Our SBN's coming online, our radar altimeters, other VHF, autopilot, gyro roll stabilizers, interphone and audio, DME receivers. This is different here as well. Indicated airspeed, power, and heat. Gyro, heat, and compasses are coming online. Okay. So now we can align our compasses. It's really simple. Put in the northern latitude. Go here, go down, go to the side, click it, and then you got your DG and magnetic, and then your standby compasses. You want to align all those. We're going to start with DG and main compasses. So it's north 43 for Vladivostok. So we'll go about there, I'd say. And I do want to actually have a look at this here. Alright, compasses are moving. And a little plane icon there, and the bottom's moving. Okay, those have stopped. Now we'll go to the standby. You can see the standby RMI, I believe it's called, is moving. Alright, well, obviously something happened with aligning the RMIs because they're not lined up properly, but we got these two, the little arrow there and the big arrow there, pointing in the right direction. So that's, you know, I'm satisfied with that. This is pointing exactly in the opposite direction, which makes no sense to me. I've tried going through each selection here, and I'm getting nothing. And I know I bumped this course switch when I was doing the standby, so maybe that messed up something. Actually, I could try cycling the gyros. Cycling our compass system. Let's see here. That's not doing anything. Alright, well I'm out of ideas here. So let's continue on. So let's just realign our attitude indicators here temporarily. Let's try VOR1 here. So it should get displayed, and it is. We're going to take off in heading select though. That is the plan, I believe. Oh yeah, flight control boosters as well can come on. We'll just extend the landing lights for when we need them, and we'll set flaps 15.
Slots extending. Slots extending.
See there.
Stabilizer moving. Flaps 15. Stabilizer -1.5.
Stab trim's weird on this, I gotta say.
Slots extended.
I'm still getting used to her. Okay. Alright, we're looking good. If I could just get this to display the VOR without this mode being engaged, that would be ideal. But I don't think I can. Just leave it as is. Okay. Takeoff config check. That light goes out when you go to 10 degrees on the nose wheel steering. That's good. We'll turn our taxi lights on when we're facing away from the terminal. APU is shut down so we can turn off the master switches for it. We got bleed air. So our icing systems are going to come on now. We'll leave our door heat on just for peace of mind. And our flight recorder is something I forgot to turn on, so we'll do that as well. Gyro roll stabilize, or no, our main servos or something for the flight controls, those are already on, so we'll leave those as is. Pedestal looks good. We'll turn on our NVU. Actually, we're going to need that to fly the GPS. And we can get this to display VOR1, I think. Yeah, we can. So that's good. Okay. Let's make the call here on COM1. Vladivostok traffic Vladar 7645, taxiing runway 07 right via Mike, holding Mike, Vladivostok. Real simple. We'll make a right turn here and then another right and a left to get onto the main taxiway and go to the end. So the brakes are coming off here.
On. Right side clear, ready for taxi.
Mark
Left
the time
and
here.
Clear, attention, starting taxi.
Mark the time here. It is 21 Zulu. Now the brakes check, they want you to do it kind of intense. So we'll wait until we're moving forward here before we do that. This here, this is not anything system-wise.
And compass check.
That looks good. It's not anything VO. It's a VOR out of range or whatever, that you're not, you know, lined up with it.
Brakes check. Okay.
Okay. Pass the brake check. So we want taxi. I believe top is landing. Just double check. Yeah. Actually, no. We'll go to the end of this apron here because there's some Russian aircraft here I kind of want to take a look at. Let's see here. We got an AN-24, Tupolev 154. And another AN-24 there. All for Aeroflot, I think, maybe? No, that one is. That's really cool, though. I like that. And the weather is deteriorating here. I don't think we'd be able to get back in if we had an engine out. So that's okay. We just won't have an engine out. Okay, we're joining the taxiway here. Now I don't usually have any head shake stuff installed, but this aircraft seems to have just come with it. So I'm not really going to complain. It's pretty well done, you know. It's not really my cup of tea. I don't like to go that far deep into it. You know, I'd like to be able to still focus on what I'm doing, but you know, it's all good. Oh yeah, transponder mode C as well. We'll take the TCAS to tilt above. Facing away now, we can also turn on our weather radar and the Doppler. And pitot and window heats are both going to high here. So I'm idle throttles, and this thing does like to pick up some speed in the taxi. That's one thing I've noticed for sure. Much like an Airbus, you just leave it at idle, man, it'll get going. Engine's got a lot of power. So you just kind of mediate the brakes here. But yeah, that is it's a nice aircraft for sure. Take my beauty shots here while I'm not really in a crucial stage of flight just yet. Get the departure up here. So yeah, it's runway heading up to 3,300, max 200 knots, so that's about 400 kilometers per hour. More like 390. Oh, UPS and FedEx. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, X-plane static aircraft, you know, all these old sceneries, but it's kind of neat, I guess. So we won't go above 390. We're going to try and pitch for, like, I guess 350, I'd say. 350 is our clean speed. We'll say we'll pitch for, I don't know, 310. Yeah, no, sorry, V2 plus 15 is 300. We'll do that up to 3,000. Then we'll start accelerating at 350, which is about 190 knots, 185 knots, I'd say. And we'll make that left turn there to intercept the VOR. Which it would be useful if we had our RMI pointers functioning here, but I guess I wasn't able to align them properly. Alright, we're coming up to the hold short line here. Let's go transponder on TARA here. Landing lights are coming on. No strobes as far as I know. But because it is low visibility, actually wait, Vladivostok Flat Air 7645, line up and take off runway 07 Vladivostok. It should have like logo and wing lights here. Yeah, wing and logo. So let's turn these on for low visibility. Try and line it up here. I think I definitely overshot the center line there. Try and do a static takeoff here. Okay. Set the brakes here. We'll set we'll set 95.
Pass-through valves are closed. Takeoff thrust, hold throttles, landing lights on. Takeoff thrust,
Brakes
count as
released.
normal, holding throttles.
Alright, that looks good to me.
Speed alive.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Positive rate. Gear up. Alright. Climbing into nothingness here. We're going to pitch for 300 knots. Try and keep our wings level here. Alright, we're going to go stab, vertical, and heading. Right onto the autopilot here so I can set climb power. Okay, we're looking good. Vladivostok Flat Air 7645 through 1900 feet. That is 2 Yankee. Last call, Vladivostok. I never even bugged our initial cruise level here, but we'll say... Oh yeah, we're going up to 3-4, so... Coming up on 3,300 here. Let's go vertical here. You know what? We have a pop out here for the autopilot here. So let's select for it to kind of slow the climb down a bit here. Now we're through 3,300 feet, so we'll go direct to the VOR. We're just going to be on a heading of 240.
Speed 360. Flaps up.
Flaps coming up.
Flaps retracting. Flaps retracting. Stabilizer moving. Stabilizer 0.
There we go. Yeah, we're making that turn pretty premature here. Alright, let's go back to vertical speed hold because we're more like 210 knots. Sorry, IAS hold. More like 210 knots, but I'll take that. Yeah, there we go. So the vertical for the flight director doesn't seem to work unless you're doing an ILS. That's what I'm told, at least, if you're wondering why that's not working. Okay, so VOR is now going to be more like a 220. I'm lucky at least that the RMI is exactly the opposite of what it is, so I can just look at that, and then I've got a bearing to the VOR. Alright, we're through 6,000 feet, so we'll go standard pressure.
Pressure 10 seconds.
And that's working out lovely. Now we're going to go fully 2-1 here. And once we fly overhead, obviously I'm cheating using this on a reference, but once we fly overhead, then excellent. And it is still max 225, so once we pass the VOR, we'll go to our climb speed of about 500 kilometers per hour. And our DME is only in kilometers. Coming through 10,000 feet, we can go seatbelt sign off. Air isn't too rough out there. Everything looks good back here. We're starting on tanks N2 and N3 there. And you can see we're flying past the VOR here. So we'll now turn exactly on course. We'll go vertical speed. So this is in meters per second, so 5 is about 1,000 feet per minute. So we'll bring it down to 1,000 feet per minute and accelerate up to 500 kilometers per hour here. We'll go on a bit of an offset here. Try and catch that very sensitive radial as we're so close. There we go. It's really finicky. It's more of a pitch command than a vertical speed, because it likes to change on you, as good as it is. Alright, now we'll turn to intercept. We'll turn on a more sort of intense heading here. We'll go 2-1. And we'll go vertical speed here. We'll actually bring the engines back here. We're making a really good climb rate, so we'll shoot for about 2,000 for now. Okay, it's coming in. We should be able to go VOR1 now. Hopefully it doesn't turn in too much, but we'll see. Sink the heading bug here. Okay, looks good. Finally coming out of the clouds here. Should be able to turn our anti-ice off in a little bit. And as you can see here, pretty well on track to Vadis from the departure. There we go. So we're going to fly that until 31 DME, which is some in kilometers. Honestly, I might just go direct to Vadis now. At least I know it can fly a radial. Bring the engines back up a bit. And we're coming up out now, so anti-ice can come off. As well as our window heat can come to low now. And we're 15 miles from Vadis. It is very thick clouds over Vladivostok. That's for sure. So we can see now we're about halfway to Vadis. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go direct to Vadis, and I'm going to switch to GPS tracking. Switch to GPS displayed on the first officer's side. Just verify we have the correct course here. 188 looks about right to me. And we're coming up on 18,000. Still climbing pretty well. Trying not to keep it too shallow or too steep. The autopilot definitely demands a certain degree of attention from you, and we are pressurizing. Our differential pressure looks good, cabin altitude as well. Hypoxia is simulated in this simulator, as I'm sure many X-Plane users know, so. And as well, our logo and wing lights can come off. Something I forgot to do at 10,000. Yeah, okay, everything looks good. The wind noise is pretty appalling. I mean, it's realistic, but it is appalling. Just try and tone that down a little bit there. Still climbing well. According to the OFP, we expect to arrive in Takamatsu around 2300 Zulu, which is about an hour and a half from now. Not too long of a flight. I think we got some pretty good tailwinds as well. Everything looks good. I love this weather radar here. It's such a funny thing with its shield, which I assume is for lighting reasons. This is, again, I think waypoint enunciator or something. Most of these are nav related, I think, at least on the left side or the right side. Or it could be, you know, engine fire or something. You know, I don't speak Russian, so don't quote me on that. And we're through 20K. Excellent. Going up to, we're at 89, we'll go to 90% RPM. And we are leaving behind Russia. Absolutely going to grab some beauty shots here. Looks good. $22,000. Go to Mach hold at 290. Coming up to Matan. So I think I'll probably cut the recording here because, well, the gift I've found with this aircraft is, yeah, the pre-flight's wicked. And your turnaround as well, but in between that, it's pretty chill. You know, you monitor the systems, but you're not necessarily messing around with much, to my knowledge at least, so It's something that you can kind of chill out with. Forgot to turn our ADF receivers on as well. Not that we might use them, we'll see. And our RMIs are still backwards. That's gonna bug me for sure. Someone's gonna see this and not see the part and be like, "Wow, you forgot to do that." And I'm like, "Yeah, man. I tell you, I tried." Um, yeah, always something new with each flight in this aircraft, I find. This is interesting. This is for the autopilot or the ABSU. It can throw codes like an OBD in a car, and you can read them here and then clear them. So we'll see if it throws any codes. If it does, we're in trouble. Bring it up to 91 now. Such a nice aircraft. So smooth too. I gotta mess around with my flight controls in the sim because my ailerons are pretty sensitive. But I remember flying this in X-Plane 11 and it was just a dream. You know what? I'm gonna translate this real quick because I didn't see this one on the last flight. Let's just see real quick. Remember this. Remember this. Okay, I'll remember, dude. I'll remember that. And these two are for your RSBN, I think. Cooper and 10. Alright. So next time I talk to you guys, I guess it'll be fairly soon because it's a short flight. When we start briefing for the landing in Takamatsu. As previously stated, the weather is okay. I wouldn't say it's like marginal or anything, but it's not great either. There are some clouds, so. But the wind's alright. You know what? It should be okay. So I'll talk to you then. You joined me at flight level 340 now. We had to step up overhead waypoint Kansu because we went to the even levels, switching over from a course of I think like 182 to 180, but hey, you know, you gotta follow the rules. Cruising at Mach 0.80 here, cabin is pressurized, all is well. We're actually a little bit above our fuel burn, I think we're at 9 now. We were supposed to be at 8.9 at Kansu, so, you know, there's fuel efficiency. Gonna grab the weather here for Tokamatsu. I keep forgetting, is that what it's called? Takamatsu, okay. Via the Internet Explorer. Let's see here. See if I can figure this out here. At backspace. Okay, R. It's not displaying. Can I reload the page? Yeah, this is not working. No surprises there. What we'll do is we'll just grab the weather from Xpilot here. So we're showing 2200 Zulu, so this is recent METAR 210 at 6 knots, KVOC conditions, temperature 14, QNH 1015. So beautiful, excellent. Perfect. We'll take runway 26 as previously planned. We'll take the ILS Yankee here. Let's take a look now. So we're going to fly no arrival procedure. We're going to fly direct from our last on-road fix to the approach procedure. But that's okay because it's got one of them VOR fly overhead kind of deals here. So that's perfect. I haven't flown one of those in a while. ILS Yankee runway 26. Boom. Plan is we're going to fly overhead the Kagawa VOR, fly an outbound 065 radio to, does it say when? 12.5 DME, and then we'll make the right turn to intercept the localizer. We're going to cross the VOR at 5,000 feet, and we're going to descend to 3,600 feet. I guess a slow descent. Thank goodness we have auto throttle. Slow descent on the outbound, and then a faster descent to 3,600 to be level 3600 for Sanpo, 9.2 DME. So what we'll do here is we obviously need the captain's side to fly the VOR outbound, and we'll just quickly tune the ILS right before making the turn, I think is what we'll do, because we kind of need, actually no, wait, we can't switch sides here, so tell you what, we'll put the VOR on the first officer's side in the ILS here. So it's going to be 109.7 on track 261. And for Kagawa, I believe it's 108.5, and it's a track, what did it say it was? 81? 65, sorry. Go up here, 65. And we'll set 65 to be displayed here. And we'll set our approach course of 261 here. We've got about, sending overhead Kyoka, so 150 miles. We're moving really quick, that's why I'm starting this at about 200. We do have some mountains, so we're not going to overshoot the VOR. Obviously we can maintain visual separation with those though. Transition altitude 14,000, we have VOR at DME. Yeah, you can see the MSA is 7,500 feet to the south of the airport. Standard glide path. Minimum's 200 feet, which is about 60 meters here on our thing. And obviously we're well within the runway visual range there. So yeah, fly overhead from our last en route fix, which is, let me just add this here, Utazu. 065 outbound to 12.5 DME. Make that right-hand turn, descending to 3600, and we'll grab it real quick there. So I'd say at like 10 DME, we're going to just switch sides and do the landing prepare switch. Make sure everything's displayed before we make the turn, because when we make the turn, we're going to be really just making sure we're not going to overshoot or undershoot and making visual contact with those mountains there. So it'll be a pretty high workload approach. It's a good thing there's 3 crew in this aircraft. Yeah, that should be cool. Let's align our gyros now before top of descent. So the vertical is north 34 for Takamatsu. So let's go here. And let's take care of this. This is something you do before top of descent, or I think as you go along. Let's say if you're doing a super long flight. Oh, I was really hoping that was going to fix our RMIs. Actually, that reminds me, we can go to magnetic now on here. Never mind, that's not good. Compasses are coming back. I think we might have already had them on magnetic and not DG. Alright, let's adjust DG for the main ones here. That's good. And still no RMI, unfortunately. We can set our pressurization down to the field elevation, which is 600 feet. So 600 feet translates to 743 millimeter hector something. So actually we'll leave that, we don't need to touch that. So I think that's about here. Okay. That should be good. So pressurization and gyros are set. 134 miles to top of descent. Let's figure out our landing performance. We'll do a flap 36 landing because we got a fair amount of runway to work with, I'd say. Actually 82. No, we'll do a flap full landing. Try and get off at Tango 4 and go to the west apron. So for a flap 45 landing, that's a VREF of 260 knots. We'll add, we'll say 266 knots for the wind. Wind speed's 300 kilometers per hour there. I'm going to try and come in pretty fast so I can anticipate the trim. Center of gravity is going to be 25.7, which in the POH here gives us a center CG here. Stabilizer harmonized position. Okay, so we can leave the trim doohickey as such. We're going to want this set to 3. I think we'll do that on the approach. So hopefully we don't run into that elevator authority issue we were having here. Getting close to Kyoka. We'll descend like 15 miles beforehand just to give us some contingency room. And we're going to have a minimum clean speed of 341 kilometers per hour. I'll start bringing in flaps at 400. That translates to about 200 knots. We do actually have a gauge here in knots, by the way. I'm just thinking in my head if there's any other approach items that I'm not considering. It's good weather, there's no, it's a pretty standard precision approach. I don't think there's any factors, no failures with the aircraft yet. Pressurization set. These lights should be off actually. Yeah, it does like to save panel states, I guess, because I had these on for the last flight as well. Yeah, okay, everything looks good. Oh, we can actually pressurize our brake accumulator here. Okay. We are still about 100 miles from top of descent, so I will check back with you guys on the descent, getting into the approach there. But that concludes the approach briefing. Standard performance. Just gonna try and fly it properly this time, and yeah, not get too low on the speed there. Probably end up taking the auto throttles out pretty early so I can have a bit more authority, because as much as you want to trust the autopilot because it's such a lifesaver, more often than not you're going to be taking the autopilot out early on approach because it doesn't fly the ILS too well, and you really want to have this aircraft stabilized with its swept wing design here. It's obviously got a, pretty precarious to stalls, so we might even fly the turn manually. I wouldn't mind, that'd be pretty fun. We'll see. We'll see how we're feeling when we're coming down there, and we'll make a decision then. So,
Right,
see you guys in now through 180 for 5,000 overhead Hiroshima in Japan. Kind of a semi-famous place here. Let me just adjust my descent rate here. Yeah, kind of a semi-famous place, if anyone has ever been to this place called History Class. It's pretty nice. I believe the bay is, yeah, so the city is there somewhere, around kind of the bay. That might be it there, actually. Never heard of geography class before, didn't go to that one, so, But, speed's bleeding off pretty nice. We can slowly start to stow the speed brake here. Trying to get her to 250, and as we head closer to the VOR there, which we are still not receiving DME from, we'll get that set up. This keeps breaking. Just make sure I got the frequency right. 108.4. Oh, I have 108.5. Okay. I'd much rather it be a misinput on my part than not, but we are getting 112 kilometers now. Still descending pretty well on profile here. We'll get her to hold 250 knots. If I can get that. Oh, we need to have it in the band here. There we go. Still the speed brakes. Coming up on 14,000, we'll go local QNH of 1015. Okay, that's looking good. I'm giving myself lots of words of affirmation, as they say on Hinge. For me, it's so that I try and have a less chance of messing up this approach procedure. I doubt that's ever really been used, but yeah, it's going to be fun. Through transition level now, 250 knots, doing about a 1500 feet per minute descent. We are stable. The autopilot can definitely turn on you like a dime. Alright, making that turn now towards our last en route fix before the airport. And thank you for making the turn. Watch, it'll dip more in this turn even though we have a certain pitch selected. Well, it is actually, sorry, it is pitched, so of course it's going to dip, but man, it would be so much easier if they just had a vertical speed selector. Like, no one's going to use pitch. There is Hiroshima there, I believe. Pretty neat. Auto ortho is, you know, it streams images, so you'll get some spots occasionally. I think there might be one actually at Takanasha. Is that what it's called? Takamatsu. But for the most part, like, it's so easy to install compared to Ortho for XP. Ortho for XP was a real pain. This is really just kind of get in and go. 41 miles to the last fix there. We're pretty well on profile. I'd say we could even shallow out. No, actually we won't shallow out the descent. We'll increase it a bit, because we're still going fairly fast, so yeah. Bring the seatbelt sign on. Now. I'm really concerned about if we can go seamlessly between relaying the first officer's HSI, which is actually displaying the VOR track we're going to fly, displaying it on here, and then going back to the ILS. I'm hoping that that works relatively seamlessly, because I haven't tried switching between HSIs before. I mean, on other planes it's simple, you know, but this is a new one. I'm going to increase our pitch a little bit here. What would be nice as well is if the flight director was synced to these vertical and these pitch commands, because I could actually get an idea of what pitch I'm flying at, or what pitch I've selected. Anyways, coming through 10,000 feet here, we'll extend, turn on the landing lights. Seatbelt sign is already on. I never put the gear in the neutral position, actually. That was something I forgot to do here. That's my bad. But we can't miss everything. Gonna need a bit of speed brake here. Not the flight control boosters. Speed brake. Just make sure we have those on. Need a bit more there, I'd say. 31 miles to the last fix. And then we'll just fly whatever direct to the VOR, just on the RMIs there, which is going to be a what is that, about a 070 track. Oh no, I don't think it's, I think it's no longer exactly the opposite. I think now it's completely sideways here. Yeah, we're facing directly north up. Okay, so we can't rely on the pointers anymore. We'll make it work. We'll just switch to the captain's side and then manually set a course. Fly it on heading mode, because I don't want to adjust these as well. These are much easier when they're just preset. And still needing more speed brake. We'll shallow out the descent here a bit as we get close. Nice view of Japan there, you know. I guess this would be kind of more center rather than southern Japan if I had to guess. Alright, just shallow it out there because we still got 20 miles to go. I know I'm being a little bit premature on the descent, but I just kind of want to be set up so that if any snags hit, I'm not having to, you know, trade speed and altitude and everything while figuring out that snag. I think this is just because we're low, yeah, low speed there. Now we're throttling up a bit, so sorry, low thrust. But yeah, these RMIs are cooked, man. Before we could just use them, but now actually no, I think they might be displaying the reciprocal properly. This is 6 and then 9, and then we're a bit past 9. So we might still be able to use a heading, I think. I don't know if I want to count on it, but you know, 20 miles to Itazu, 4 minutes out. I don't mind cruising at 5,000 for 4 minutes. All the mountains are on that side anyway. It's not like we're in a precarious spot. The noise might be an issue, but this is flight sim. You know, what are you gonna do? 2. Cabin is depressurizing, which is excellent. Hopefully we can open our doors, but honestly I'm not counting on it because it's not always. I had that issue before, and I set the right QFE now in millimeter HG something, but it seems like a very small edit to make such a big difference, but you know, I've been proven wrong before. 500 to go. This is beautiful. Grab a few screenshots there before I... Yeah. We'll just get it to hold at that altitude. Is our speed brake fully stowed? Yes, it is. 10 miles to go. Just confirm we have our landing lights extended. Yet. That shouldn't... Is that... Oh. Interesting. I didn't know those. I thought those came out with the gear. I guess not. It's kind of neat. Really shallow descent here. Oh, we're looking good. Oh, there we go. Hold. You know what? I'll get it to climb up a bit. I got distracted there for a second. I won't lie. Get it to climb up a bit there. Okay, 5,000 feet now. Holding. 7 miles. And we are approaching, I don't know what you'd call this. Okay, so it's called Takamatsu Airport. Is that the actual name of the town, or Kagawa Takamatsu? Pretty sure that's it. I guess it must be what the town's called. I definitely prefer this over Narita and maybe Haneda as well, because they're, you know, they're big, very well designed airports, and I feel like you don't get to see a lot of the Orient and whatever flying to those big ones, like, you know, picking Kai Tak over Cheplak Kok or whatever it's called, the Hong Kong new airport. New, it's 20 years old now, 25, but that one's so well designed, you know, it takes all the fun out of it, and then Kai Tak kind of doesn't really parallel to that. Okay, we got DME on the localizer now. That's good. Okay, let's go heading select now. Now let's see if we can I display VOR too. Whoa, 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 heading select there. Is it gonna stay set? Okay. give us a heading here now. Let's go like this here. I think it wants us on a 130. Something like so. Oh, that looks about right. This is my cheat here, obviously. You know, we'll set the 065. See if it flies it. I really don't want to have to change that, but it says we're on VOR 2, so it should, theoretically. Okay, we are 16 miles out. I guess we can just, yeah, we can just use the localizer. I mean, same distance, just about. Six miles. I'll just use this as references, man. I don't have time to figure out, you know, a rough rule of thumb for calculating kilometers to nautical miles. It's some things I just spitball in flight sim, man. Anyways, we should see the airport now for 6 miles. Yeah, there it is. There is Takamatsu. So we're gonna fly and then whoop, for 12 miles and then whoop, come straight in non-localizer. We better not overshoot that turn, or we're gonna be in trouble. I'm glad I'm picking a clear day to fly this for the first time. I'm very glad. Let's double check our CG here. 25, I think, yeah, that's within the center band there. So, yeah. Alright, we can start the turn now, I'd say. Started fairly premature. So let's turn now on 065 and see where that ends us up. And we can start descending now to 3600. Very, very slowly. Actually, what we'll do is we'll get it to slow down here now to about 220 knots. When we get to that, we'll bring out flaps 15, and now we'll get it to start descending here ever so slightly. Yeah, we'll get it to fly on a relatively shallow intercept heading. Once again, due to the proximity, same thing we had in Vladivostok. So, alright, let's see here. I really don't want to hit 3600 on the outbound, because then we're just screaming over the city, you know, annoying people. People that aren't aviation people. So let's shallow it out even more here. Should be getting the VOR any second. I think we are. There we go. We'll say VOR 2 now. And it appears to be flying it. Come on, turn. Don't make me change the course. There we go. Okay, I'm alright. We'll bring out flap 15. What are we at now? 218. Excellent. Okay. Oh, it's gonna start chasing that intercept there. The autopilot isn't that clever. I'll be maybe the first to say that. But when you're rolling back and forth and then trying to move the pitch wheel, like, the workload does add up. You would kind of wish it was a little more clever with grabbing intercepts, but nonetheless. Once we get established outbound, if we get established outbound on this radial, then I'll start setting up the instruments. I'll just select heading hold here. Alright, you know what? I'm going to call that good here. Let's go heading select here. Let's go 261. We need this descending a bit more. Need landing prepare switch. Okay. Just make a quick little cheat edit to that intercept heading there. DME2 is showing 18 kilometers. Hopefully that's somewhere where we want to be. Yeah, we're probably going to overshoot the localizer here, so let's just let's give ourselves a bit of an aid here before we start the turn. And now we'll make the turn. Full roll, basically. So the landing prepare switch is on, so that is displaying our ILS correctly. We've got our glide slope flag here, here and something like so. We're going to hold now because we're at 3600. 261 is our heading. Probably going to overshoot localizer here, so we'll just prematurely set that like so. Sitting at 3400, I'll take that. That's fair. Should be expecting to blow through this any second now. 109.7, yeah, there it goes. Not too bad, honestly. You know, it's a routine thing. Man, I overshoot the localizer in, you know, Boeings sometimes, so, you know, the workload gets away from you, but nonetheless, there's the field. Yeah, that's pretty alright. We'll just go ahead and intercept on 290 here. And it's holding speed and altitude very well. I'm pleased with it. So we are about 13, 14 miles out now. Okay, we can select approach mode. Sync the heading bug. Wait for the glide slope to come in. Actually, when the glide slope comes in, I'm just going to take it out and fly it manually, because it doesn't do it that well. I'm going to be honest. Like I heard someone say this is Cat 2 certified, and I don't know. I'm doubting it. I'm going to be honest. Okay, glide slope's coming in. Here we go. Autopilot off. We'll actually select glide slope here, so maybe it'll get displayed. I don't know though. Okay. So let's go. Actually, auto throttle's out as well. Flaps 28 and gears coming down. We are pretty high here already.
Flaps extending. Stabilizer moving. Flaps 45.
Flaps 45.
Stabilizer -3.
-3, okay, that's correct for our CG. We are way above the glide slope here. I'm pretty worried about the stabilizer trim issue I was having, where it ended in disaster. So I'm coming in fast and I'm coming in high, basically in anticipation, but we're coming in too high, I'd say, for sure. Maybe too fast as well. But you know what? She's managing the speed. Like we're not gaining speed, and I'm only at halfway throttle. So I think you know, we're doing pretty good for a steep approach, even though it's not supposed to be a steep approach. Might as well make a call just in case. Takamatsu traffic, Vlad Air 7645, short final runway 26, Takamatsu. Boy, there was a gust of wind there. Okay, keep it coming down. We're doing about 1,000 feet per minute. That's about 350 above the profile, which is good. It's good. We can say we're still stabilized while trying to catch the glide path. And I'm going to start bringing the power back now because I'm feeling comfortable with it. Anticipating the trim as well. About 20 above VREF. Wouldn't expect a great landing here, I'm gonna be honest. Alright, let's start rounding it out here.
40 above, minimum.
Continue.
10 meters. 5, 3, 2, 1 meter. Reverse on.
Reversers are on.
1 meter.
200 kilometers, manual braking. That felt weird. We definitely bounced, but it didn't feel like a hard bounce, but that felt totally weird. Nose wheel steering's coming online here.
Remove flaps and landing lights.
Man, we're cooking the brakes here. Oh, please tell me we can get off here. Yes. Okay. Alright, let's clean up our aircraft here. And views coming offline. So is the weather radar. Taxi lights. Welcome to Takamatsu. That was an interesting landing for sure, man. I gotta say. Alright, gear can come to neutral here. Oh boy. I was so scared that the stabilizer trim was just gonna cook me there. But no, I had perfect authority. Even for this, I mean, the steep approach itself is a good display of that. So let's get our APU door open here. And let's come back and shut off all the equipment we don't need. So we'll go mode C on the transponder here. Okay, so transponder can stay on. We'll turn off our KERS MP and turn indicators. Attitude indicator power and autopilot can come out. Turn off our I'm going to do this while double checking to make sure I'm not going off the taxiway. We can turn off one of our VHF radio and our gyro roll stabilizers. Turn off DME. Sorry, we can turn off the DME. Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, we're still semi-taxiing, okay. Let's start up the APU. You can hear that like change in the pitch of the electrical frequency sound. It's so cool. Indicated airspeed system heat to come offline, and our DGs. Actually, these two DGs do gyro and magnetic correctors. Okay, that should be okay. Hopefully we don't trip the thing or whatever. And we'll just take this one here maybe. Turn the taxi lights off. I doubt AutoGate's gonna work here, but you know, nonetheless, I'm just happy I made it, man. This is such a fun aircraft. I'm not gonna kid myself and say, oh yeah, you know, if you just put in the work and stop flying those Airbuses, maybe you'll have some fun. Like, do whatever works for you, man. I like Airbuses too. This is not something I'm doing every day because it is stressful, as you might be able to tell. So, but it's fun when you're in like a challenging mood. Just gonna marshal myself here. Say about there is good.
Parking brake on.
Parking
Turn off
brakes.
all systems and engines.
Okay. Is this gonna die? No. Okay, excellent. Alright, engine bleeds can come off. Now are you gonna die? Not yet. Excellent. Now we can shut off our engines. And with it can go our fuel pumps. And our fuel system doohickeys here. This can go off. These are good, these are good. Ice detection and fire suppression. Transponder can go to standby. Okay. Let's call it here. Let's bring in our the door opens. It does work. So I was able to successfully depressurize the aircraft properly. Excellent, man. So if you have that issue, obviously you want your door heat on and set your QFE there. So cool. Let's go out here and let's just take a gander and welcome ourselves to, oh, what's it called? I swear, I'm not making this up. I keep forgetting. Takamatsu. Near Hiroshima, I guess. That's all I know about it. Gotta love the freeware scenery, man. See here. They anticipated my arrival and wrote it down there so I wouldn't forget. But overall, I am extremely satisfied with this aircraft, considering it cost you $0. Obviously, the price you pay is the learning curve. But nonetheless, like, you know, I haven't done a deep dive into this aircraft. I fly it on a level of, you know, go here and have some fun on your free time. And, you know, it's doable. It's fun. The aircraft doesn't necessarily demand you know everything about it. And I think a lot of aircraft are like that, including this one, even if one might not think it. So I'll say my farewells here. I'll see if I can get the landing replay and put that in the video. See how bad it was. We bounced it for sure, but I don't know if it was like a hard bounce or not. It seemed kind of funny. I might have got the ground effect just right. But we're touched down. See if we're on schedule here actually. Just about, yeah. Our in time was 2 minutes ago. So yeah, we're perfectly on schedule for Takamatsu here. And obviously we'd be getting ready for the turnaround to go back to Vladivostok, and but I'm probably not going to do that. I'm going to go film this video, man, because it's not, you know, I love flying this once or twice a week or whatever. That's how I did it back in 21 and 22 with the original Felis in the English cockpit. But I was never going to do like 6 sector days in it because it's, you know, I haven't gotten to that level where I really, really trust the aircraft yet to just, go full send and go full commit like that. I'm still I was getting to know her 2, 3 years ago. I'm still getting to know her now. I'm re-getting to know her, but I'm a lot smarter than I was then, and hopefully maybe we'll learn some new things as we go along. Maybe you'll see it on another video for sure. So thanks for coming along, and hopefully this benefits you in some way. And yeah, for all the guys out there that really know how to do this, feel free to just tear me apart in the comments, like, because that's basically a free tutorial for me. Be like, oh, now I can do this way now. Excellent. I didn't know that before. So that would be amazing. Don't think that you're being a hater or nothing. You're just helping out. So thanks very much for watching.